Thousands of cases are being recorded in other states each and every day. The surges and the speed of the spread across communities is very worrying. This morning, you may have seen the announcement that as of 6 p.m. tomorrow, Queensland and South Australia will be elevated to extreme risk status under our controlled border arrangements. This means travel from those states will not be permitted unless approved under extraordinary circumstances and require double-dose vaccination and 14 days of hotel quarantine. The border changes are based on health advice in light of the rapid growth in cases in both Queensland and South Australia. My advice to any Western Australian that has an approved G2G pass and wishes to return home from those jurisdictions is to do so immediately. I can advise that overnight, WA has recorded one new local case of COVID-19. That case is a 27-year-old male backpacker. So far, we know he was a close contact of an existing case. He shared a bathroom with that person. That man is not vaccinated. It is believed he has been infectious in the community, so therefore there are further exposure sites. These are Domino's Pizza, East Fremantle on December 28, BP on Queen Victoria Street in Fremantle on December 28, Portside Boulders Climbing Gym in O'Connor on December 27, and Farmer Jack's Spearwood on December 26. Specific times and further exposure sites will be released publicly as soon as possible. They'll be listed on the wa.gov.au website and through social media. This morning, the new case was transferred to hotel quarantine. Yesterday, we did 5,181 COVID tests. As of this morning, 720 close contacts in total have been identified, 40 of whom are yet to be tested. Of the 40 yet to be tested, 31 were patrons from the Perth Mess Hall event. As I said yesterday, a number of attendees will not be able to be located by WA Police due to false or misleading contact information provided. In addition, 1,488 casual contacts have now been identified, with 328 yet to be tested. If you have been identified as a close or casual contact, or if you've been to an exposure site, especially the Perth Mess Hall event, we need you to come forward immediately. We need you to do the right thing and get tested now. Once again, it's important to get back in the habit of using Safe WA, checking in at venues, and regularly checking the list of exposure sites online. There is good news when it comes to vaccinations. A total of 26,696 vaccines were administered yesterday, the highest number for some time. This was pushed by a spike in visitors to state-run clinics, particularly for third doses, which we know is very important in the fight against Omicron. Of the 10,729 doses given at state-run clinics yesterday, 5,456 were third doses, including mine, down at Kwinana. Yesterday's surge in vaccinations means 92% of our population aged 12 or above have now had their third dose, and 84% have had 2 doses over 12. These numbers are very encouraging. So thanks to everyone who is rolling up for WA. Remember, as soon as you are eligible for your third dose, you should immediately get it done. Do not hesitate, as more and more people are becoming eligible each and every day. I'd also like to take the opportunity to thank Western Australians for overwhelmingly adhering to the public health measures that have had to be put in place to keep our communities safe. No one takes any pleasure in mask wearing or seated consumption rules over Christmas and New Year's. But the reality is they may well allow us to get back to our unique way of life very soon. That being said, while many venues have been able to operate as normal over this time, we recognise the public health rules have had an unavoidable impact on nightclubs, major events and their suppliers, event companies, artists and creatives. As promised, today I can announce our targeted assistance package for affected businesses. Firstly, small businesses impacted by the public health measures will soon be able to apply for a grant of up to $12,500. Sole traders will also be eligible for a grant of up to $4,400. Those one-off grants are open to eligible businesses, including creative and performing arts, catering, rental and hiring services, and other hospitality businesses. These businesses will need to demonstrate a reduction in turnover of at least 30% compared to the same 11-day period from last year. Nightclubs that have been forced to close are eligible for a one-off $20,000 grant, recognising that these businesses, compared to some others, have had no ability to trade at all. Businesses impacted by the cancellation of major music events or festivals will be able to apply for assistance under our revamped Getting the Show Back on the Road program. We have adjusted the guidelines so events and festivals impacted over this 11-day period can be covered. This dedicated support program will support 75% of box office loss for cancelled events, capped at $150,000. However, consideration will be given for larger events to be exempt from the cap on a case-by-case basis, pending a detailed assessment. The program was first put in place as part of the WA Recovery Plan in July 2020, which aimed at reactivating live performances, festivals and touring activities by easing the financial risks for performing arts organisations, live music producers and presenters, festival organisers and commercial event companies to stage events during the pandemic. The assistance package I'm announcing today is more generous than previous grants programs that were issued in lockdown circumstances. But I'm sure some will say they don't go far enough. The reality is we are aiming to strike the right balance, reflecting the extra busy time of the year for these kinds of businesses. And thankfully, by reacting quickly, Western Australia is on top of this latest outbreak, which means we are avoiding the chaotic scenes and economic devastation we are seeing over East. More information will go online in coming days and applications will open early in the new year. While we're on this topic, I can announce that we will be doubling the extended outage payment for households and businesses that lost power for more than 12 hours over the Christmas period. It means if you lost power for more than 12 hours over the long weekend, you can go to the Western Power website and make a claim for $160. The intention is to provide those impacted with appropriate funds to replace food that was spoiled due to the outage. As you know, an emergency National Cabinet meeting was called today to address some urgent issues which are causing significant stress across other parts of the country. Today's meeting addressed a range of issues, specifically an updated definition of close contacts and the future use of rapid antigen tests. It was widely acknowledged at the meeting that Western Australia is in a very different position compared to other states and territories. That becomes more and more obvious each and every day. While WA has agreed in principle with the changes to testing and close contacts, these new settings will only be implemented in Western Australia at a later stage. To be clear, the settings agreed at National Cabinet today are for jurisdictions with a high caseload environment, with thousands of daily cases. Western Australia is not in that position. That is accepted and understood at National Cabinet, and therefore WA will continue with our existing testing, isolation and close contact settings for the time being. At a point in the future, if we need to move to the national settings, that is what we will do. But like I've always said, WA is in the best possible position because we can monitor the situation in other states, learn from it and ensure WA is best placed to transition and ease border controls at the right time. It's a concerning time right now around the country. Everyone is ready for this pandemic to be over, but it's showing no signs of slowing down. We've asked a lot from the public over the past 2 years in order to rise to the challenge in terms of behaviour, vaccination and, frankly, patience. And I can understand why some would be tired, especially after the boiling hot week that we've had. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. If we can eliminate this outbreak, we can get back to the way of life we have enjoyed without any public health restrictions for the rest of the school holidays, hopefully. Something I think we would all enjoy. And looking forward, if we keep getting vaccinated, getting our third doses, And if we learn the lessons from other jurisdictions that have allowed the virus to spread, it means we'll be in the best possible position to safely reconnect with the rest of the world. Everyone wants to move forward and move forward safely. And if we stick together, do the right thing by each other, by checking in, getting vaccinated, following the public health advice, we'll all get through this. And please remember, keep an eye out for the new exposure sites, and please go get tested immediately if you have potentially been exposed to the virus.